Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we are talking Godforge by Fateless. I am the community manager here, and we have lots of things to talk about, especially since we got back from Gamescom, so let's get into it. If you didn't already notice, yesterday I posted my first vlog from day one of Gamescom. We left on the 20th. And yeah, it was a fun, nice start to the trip. And I will be posting a video for day 2 and day 3, I think, combined, probably tomorrow. And then I'll continue on for the total 6 days of the trip. But yeah, I'm here to talk about the demo video. We're gonna do kind of a mini reaction to it with me, but mostly we're gonna take a look at what is the honest feedback from the community. I want to showcase and have the discussion of what did the people say after watching this. So yeah, let's roll. All right, and my eyes extra squinty today. I don't know, my facial paralysis. I am doing more physiotherapy, but it doesn't like look any better yet. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully these new techniques are going to help me not look like such a derpy pirate. But hey, progress, I hope. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, so over on the official YouTube channel for Fateless, we have Simon releasing some footage regarding the actual demo itself. So he does talk about the website. You know, there's still beta to sign up for if you haven't already. It's an interest type form, so the next steps regarding beta are really just get your email there and we will message you when we need more information to start making those decisions and giving people the information. But yeah, so he shows this. We do show a little bit of this kind of a cinematic. Now, this is not the style of like the cinematic, just to be clear. This is the story cinematic, so to speak, the story visual that will go along with like the campaign mode, as he says. As you go through like chapters of campaign, like a lot of games have that kind of campaign main part of the game that also give the story of the game as well. So that's what this is going to be. My personal feedback for this has been the I think the screen needs text at the bottom. So that's my personal opinion, and I think some of us agreed. Now, anything I say here that's my personal opinions. Obviously, I have no guarantee of becoming a reality. I'm a community manager. I'm not one of the developers, but I do get to give my input, which is nice, and I'm sure they do consider it. And I also want you guys to know that any feedback you guys give, we really do read everything. So while obviously we can't make everybody happy, we do genuinely read everyone's feedback and we do discuss things. Sometimes things are just not practical, or it's too late once something's already developed, or yeah, it's just a matter of differing opinions for some things. So obviously, again, everything is subject to change at any point, especially this early. We are only in our pre-alpha demo build, as they call it here. Work in progress in the corner, as it says. And nothing is 100% at this point. Except I would assume they're going to stick to the name, let's be honest. But yeah, a lot could change by the time the game goes global, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that's I really like this little graphic they did. There's a nice voiceover actress you could hear.
Beyond them, I see an existence broken by time.
Alright, so let's pause for there. There's just a little snippet. I'm gonna jump around here, and I do encourage you guys, before we get to the feedback part, to take a pause on my video, go watch the original one if you haven't already, and then come back and we're gonna talk about it. So let me continue. So he does go through and show off some of these hero screens.
Like the lighting needs to just be picked up a touch in areas. And it was, I will be honest, like on the mobile where we've optimized it, you could get a better flavor of some of the heroes that we were looking at.
The mobile looks amazing. Like, it's so clear and crisp and just fantastic. The lighting feels even better. This is him playing, I think, on his PC client version, or maybe it's in, I don't know if it's in Unity itself, but yeah, it is on the PC versus mobile, and it is optimized for like a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at the moment. But of course, as time goes on, they'll optimize for different builds. But at the moment, it was just about getting this one ready for Gamescom and their future meetings and all of that fun stuff. So let's scroll around here. He does talk a lot about Anubis here.
Like, they're so strong. And obviously with someone like an Anubis here, we would have some VFX running through his weapon. There's a lot more things which will still be done before we actually launch the game. But this demo was just giving people a flavor of, you know, the type of aesthetic we're going for. King Arthur, I did show this in the Discord recently as a kind of like sneak peek, but he is now looking badass. He does have a weapon that makes some sense.
Yeah, he had like a placeholder sword before. That was kind of funny. The shield is amazing. I love the shield. Super, super fun. Arthur Pendragon, King Arthur. He is not Olympus faction. As you can see, the other faction behind him, that's not the right label. So that's just a bug. That's an error. So don't worry. Arthur is not, for some reason, in the Olympus faction. All right, and then we do go on here to show some gameplay. Personally, when I saw this amazing loading screen for the first time, I totally geeked out. It's gorgeous. I think this was Henry, did such an amazing job. I remember they pulled it up and I was like, ah! I just started like schoolgirl fangirling sounds. I don't even know. I was so excited when I saw this background. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous and shows off so well. It just has such a great impact with the glows, which is very stylistic of that artist, actually. So fun to see. But all right, so we have some gameplay here. You can see the setups. Let me show some with him out of the way. So you can see here there are the buffs and debuffs are kind of low, right? Like they're with the character actual portraits. And then when it is you up, it looks like the character gets bigger. There's some like other, you see him using the ultimates and stuff as well. That was on full auto, so you didn't see that at the moment, unless you're doing things on manual. Like here, he shows his main skill, his ultimate skills, and the like passives. You can see shown in some of the other footage as well. And yeah, it's I think it's a really nice visual. It's different than a lot of the other gachas that we're familiar with, although it is very similar to one gacha that I happened to also play a while back. And yeah, I really, personally, I love it. Like, I might be a little bit biased because, hey, I work for Fateless, and I might be a little bit biased even if I didn't work for Fateless because I was always a fan and now friend of Hell Hades Simon. So, of course, I'm going to support anything he's a part of. But at the end of the day, I think it looks great, and that's just honesty. I really, really like the way the portraits are now. I like the fact that you see the buffs and the debuffs on the characters, like, at the bottom all together. It makes it so much easier to see who has what buff and debuff. So of course, again, the UI, everything is still a work in progress. A lot of things could change, but I personally quite like this setup. You also see like a turn order on the side here, on the left side of the screen, and I really like that as well. But I like the visuals, like, what do you call it, over the shoulder, like looking at, I don't even know, what do you call this visual? Yeah, I guess it's like, it's almost like you're a third person looking over the shoulder at the person who's attacking, like you're one of the people in the team, so it makes you feel more immersed in it, right? I like that as well. I love the Herc Smash stuff. I love the club that's Hydra heads. A spiked Hydra head club. It's really clever. Really, really clever detail. We talk about that actually in the like bonus podcast that was posted. Just really, really interesting, right? All right, and here's another pause. Let's take a look. You can see the bunch of debuffs. I don't know what they're all called. and everything. It looks like we have some sort of bleed and poison, I would guess, just based on my other game experiences. And then I don't even know what the one next to that is. Don't decrease of speed, maybe? There's a wing going down, so maybe a decreased speed, I think. I haven't memorized all this stuff or looked up all the other details yet. I'm not always a part of those conversations. And I do see a lot of the art that's going through, but I don't always see the development going through. So yeah, still lots for me to learn and get familiar with, as I also play the demo and am part of the QA team now. So whew, it's going to be fun. But all right, guys, so demo, amazing. Really cool to see things in action and actually really get a feel for the vibe of the game. And again, this is a demo and it's alpha. It's not even beta yet. So remember that it's all a work in progress and there's so much subject to change. So that's just, there's my kind of overall feel and I guess a long TLDR. Not a TLDR, that's my long TLDR. We're already a little bit into this video, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to chat with you guys about the demo. And now I want to go in and I want to read through the Discord feedback. I think this is a really good way to tie in the community side of things. So let me pull that up. All right, so I'm here in the general chat of the Fateless Discord. All this stuff is public, so I'm just going to read through some of the feedback from the community. And I have to say, first of all, the most important thing is thank you to the community. As a member of the Fateless team, I have to say thank you for all the positive feedback and the encouragement. And yeah, that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're showing everything as we go along. We want to bring the community with us for the journey. And just please remember, like, us bringing you along for the journey is also going to be us showing you imperfect things. But remember, it's an unfinished game that sometimes is going to look a little unfinished. So we are getting there, but it's so exciting to see the progress and to see the community be excited about the progress as well. And I just think it looks, the more and more I see, the more and more I personally get excited. Even if I had nothing to do with the company itself, I would be very excited right now. So I hope you guys are feeling that too. Well, let's see here. We got what that was an awesome, okay, sorry. Crouching Grandpa, our Discord, he's a mod and community manager as well. So obviously a lot is subject to change, but we want to gather some early feedback. So what did you guys think? Is there stuff you like? Is there stuff you want to change? So he did ask for feedback. So there's going to be maybe more negative than positive in these responses, I think, because people are going to say oh yeah, this one thing bothers me. But there's also a lot of this. Loving it. Was an awesome demo. I'm super excited. Yes, it was awesome. Exsidious, will the camera be zoomed out at all? It looks good, but the constant camera jumps is nauseating and can be hard to see the status effects on your other characters. Overall, it looks good though. So I remember there being a couple comments about the camera. That's again feedback that we took back to the team in our actual private chat. So we are taking notes of these feedback, but I do have to say, as a counter to this one, hard to see the status effects on your other characters. It's actually much, much easier to see the status effects on your other characters with the way we have the portrait setups along the bottom, right? Like, they're literally right there. Aha, they're literally right there. Like, you're so much easier to see because you're not trying to look over the right character's head. You're just seeing the portrait and the status effects are immediately there. So personally, I'm much more a fan of that. But all right, let me get back to the Discord here. Okay, so I gave the funny, I was like, what's my feedback? Screw you, YouTube is my feedback. The premieres always look like really low quality. So like watching the stuff didn't look sharp at all behind Simon when he was showing the demo. And it was just a YouTube premiere. It looks totally fine when you play it back normally, but during the premieres, they treat it like it's a live stream. I don't know why. It's a preloaded VOD. It should be perfectly clear, just as the video is, but YouTube is weird with premieres. I don't know what it is, guys, but yeah. If it looked a little fuzzy to you, don't judge it too hard. I can promise you, like you said, on mobile especially, which it is optimized for at the moment, it looks incredibly sharp and beautiful. Bubbles says, looked amazing. King Arthur feels too old to me. Otherwise, amazing. Did King Arthur look too old to you guys? How old is King Arthur supposed to be during his heyday? I actually don't know. That's something I might have to take a look at. Gramerhal looked really great. Let's see, Cosmic Winter King says, that was really hype. I like the gameplay, but the animation needs some work. But I absolutely love Aphrodite animation. That was amazing. Really cool when the whole screen event went pink. And that was awesome when she charmed him. It was really cool gameplay. Looked fun and awesome. And Anubis looking really cool. I'm super excited to see more gameplay and what you guys have worked on. Keep up the amazing work. Alright, Tsunami says character design and combat look good. The story mode seems kind of generic, boring gotcha story that will probably just skip through. So, I mean, I have to admit I'm guilty of that in most games. But I really hope that the actual opening cinematic for the game, which is going to be very high quality, with amazing music, amazing visuals, completely different than that, I hope that that's going to be a good story enough to draw people in and curiosity to draw people in to where they want to read the story, right? Like, that's the goal. You want an amazing, real opening cinematic to the game that makes people curious, not only just to play the game, but also to hear the story. And personally, I think that's where this person's opinion might change, or a lot of people that are story skippers. I am when it comes to most gacha games, unless it's a very story-driven game, like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail or something like that. But yeah, he says, it's really hard to make any game story worthwhile if there's no true main characters around which to focus. The idea of having units are the backbone of a roster in the way Final Fantasy, Brave, Exvius, and Exos Heroes did allows for actual interesting story to develop. Absent that, it makes it just gacha and farming. And this game feels like it'll probably be that, and that's fine. Just make sure you nail it. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'll be curious to know if after things roll out and how everything ends up, Tsunami, will your opinion change about being interested in the story or not? Do we end up doing a good enough job of getting people interested in what the story is going to be to where they don't hit that skip button? I'm really, really excited to see how all of it comes together personally, just as a player as well. All right, so looking great. Be careful to the time needed for us to do our daily routine. Hope there's some adjustment to greatly accelerate the fights. Yeah, I mean, we did show 2x speed, which isn't so bad. But I think that's a battle that all games have. At first, there's not that much content. It's not that big of a deal. But the more and more content gets added over time, if they don't do something to, if like a game, not Godforge, if a game, a developer doesn't do something to decrease your time spent in the game to help you with quality of life features, then it becomes too much of a chore and too big of a time sink for the average player that is of this player base, who is a more mature audience, an audience that has families, that have jobs, that, you know, it's a less of a young audience that might be able to literally play games all day versus an audience that just wants to play a little bit here and there. So that's the real challenge, I think, of any of these companies, including ours, is going to be finding the balance of making both people happy, right? Both, I want to play all day, and I want to log in, get my dailies done, and just log out some days, right? I think that's going to be an interesting way to, you know, or interesting thing to see how we deal with finding a balance. But I think they're going to do a really good job. We have a great team full of content creators that are also the developers that are used to these concerns. You got to remember that too. We do have a team full of experience of dealing with community negativity or positivity, or dealing with the feedback when there are updates, when there's not updates, when the devs communicate or don't communicate. We're used to all of that. So I think that puts us in a really unique spot to make people a little bit more happy than the average new developer. But again, you can't please them all. All right, let's keep rolling here. Love the interaction of the champion's attacks with the environment. That is a chef's kiss touch. Favorite champion so far is Anubis, hands down. All right. Yeah, I like it. You see like the statue falls after you do an attack. I really like that. Someone says, I'd like to see the champion roster screen changed a bit. I feel like it doesn't really show the rarity of the champions good enough. Maybe a bit wider borders will do the job. Maybe a little bit thicker border. Okay. I could get behind that. That's decent feedback, but yeah. I'm sure our team is going to see that feedback and kind of assess as well. But I think the thing is right now, all these backgrounds are kind of the same. I don't know that these backgrounds behind the portraits are set in stone either. I saw a couple comments about the backgrounds behind the portraits, but they were still working on that as far as I know, and it was a little bit of a time crunch to get things in. So instead of just having a solid color that was terrible eyesore, yeah, they did throw in some backgrounds. But again, that is something that is completely subject to change. So don't stress too much there. That could be something that looks very different by the time we get there. All right, so let's see. Just watch the premiere, good stuff, but the specular on characters is so even that it's making them look glossy. The team needs to go back and tweak their textures and shaders. So again, some good feedback on the visuals. Again, everything is still a work in progress. Some characters are more finished than other characters. So I think that is something that will come together nicely in the end. Let's see. Someone said, I'd like to see a bigger font on the damage numbers. Maybe even use a different font color. Someone with poor eyesight, it's kind of hard to see the yellow against the background of the Anubis stage. Yeah, I guess that's something that's hard because there's the yellowy, sandy color of the Egyptian type faction of the Aru that we have. And then there's going to be green. Then there's going to be blues. There's going to be like, depending on which faction stages or whatever inspiration stages we're at, they're going to be different backgrounds. So I guess that's a UI issue to see if we can adjust to make it look very clear on any stage. So certainly something that we will take note of. And I'm sure that they're going to optimize again as we get closer. So let's see. So far the game looks sweet. Can't wait to see it after more polishing is done. Mr. Sneaky says, amazing. I'm so hyped. It's unreal. Yeah, and Simon Hades here replies, yes, we're aware and we will adjust the over-polished looking characters like Aphrodite, I think. Uneffing real. Mr. Sneaky is hyped. I love it. And then Metal here, Metallic Envy mentions that Arthur, why is the Olympus faction? Don't worry, that was a bug, like I mentioned. Love the cinematics. Second approach is definitely the way. The 2D approach is definitely a way to go. Looked great. Voice actor for the narration was incredible. Again, thank you, Bad Rooster, for some good feedback. We appreciate that. Agreed on the voice narration. Epic. I do like the voice narrator. I think they did a good job there. Let's see. Since there'll be a huge pool of heroes at launch, you want a specific hero, for example, like Anubis, or improved chance. What's the plan there? Banners, factions, summoning? I don't think they're going to be revealing anything regarding future summoning banners at this point. I don't think we even have that planned out at this point. We are working on the summoning system and the animations and all that, but I really don't think we know exactly what our banners are going to look like just yet. We're a little ways off, so in due time. It's very nice, except for the camera. Not sure about that yet. There have been, like I said, a couple notes about the camera. Are there going to be other camera angles? For me, this seems rather tiring to watch. For me, it seems normal because it's very similar to Honkai Star Rail that I played, where you had that sort of effect. And then, like Simon says in the video, when the heroes put a buff on their teammates and you get to choose who gets the buff or if it goes on the whole team, the camera angle will switch and it will show the team. For me, that's very normal because I played another game that's got the same vibe. But for maybe people that play games like Raid, that will be totally different and a little bit weird. But I also think it's good that it's different, and maybe it's just something we have to adjust to. But again, everything, I'm just going to keep saying, is subject to change. And again, we are all gathering feedback, as Crouching Grandpa says here. So we always read through everything, and yeah, it is important here. So I'm gonna read through a few more quickly now. Like to see a toggle for the camera view. Bravo to everyone, and Simon for the game. Let's see here. Didn't get a chance to see much. Don't worry, it's a VOD. Anyone could go watch it. Any chance to get a bigger font, and if possible, different colors on the damage numbers. Again, that was what we already said. I don't know, but we will relay that feedback is the answer. Nothing set in stone, but listening to feedback, and some things are going to be what they are. Some things are going to be changed. It's just going to be the reality this early on. Maybe I know it's me, I just know it's a demo, but the alts feel underwhelming. Don't feel the boom, if you know what I mean. Maybe, like, some games have kind of like a shake with an ultimate. I don't want to be too busy though, right? I don't even know. I don't know. You guys can comment below if you have any thoughts there on any of this. Congratulations on the demo video. I really liked what I saw. I saw a lot of people in the comments talking about the camera angle, but that's just a small thing compared to what y'all have accomplished. Really well done with the early demo. Thank you, Silver Nut. I think I would agree. There's some comments here about some visuals, which we did send to our team, while some things I think might not be changed this late. Warping, I think you mentioned, might be an issue that was like accidental. So I don't know. We're going to have to look into that more. But again, that's up to the art team to decide. But we did share your feedback. I already saw that one being discussed. Let's see here. I think once the game is finalized for release, there should be a react video with the Fateless crew doing a before and after comparison with videos like this to show how far you'll come. It's true. Like, imagine like how happy and excited we are now, and we think it's great. We're all very happy with what's been done so far. But imagine if it's even better. And then we look back and we giggle at this. We're like, remember when we thought that was good? I feel like that's anything though. But honestly, I really do think that this is just so good. Like Aaron Author having said, the graphics are a lot better than I thought. For real, it's the first alpha being released with any sort of real gameplay, and the graphics are really nice, so I'm definitely impressed myself. And the more I see during the art meetings, the more excited I get every single time. Oh yes, someone commented here about the bright backgrounds. They'd update them to be darker, or darker the heroes, like whatever, make them stand out more. Which yeah, I really don't know that those are the backgrounds that will be set. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. And as Grandpa, I was gonna say this too, as Crouching Grandpa pointed out, there are a couple people that read every single post, Simon included, in the game ideas thread. So Crouching Grandpa has been putting these into a spreadsheet with the general idea and the link to each one, so that way our staff can review it. And I already know that Simon says he reads them all too. So if you guys generally have ideas or legit feedback, please go through and put it in the game idea thread. But don't just be like, don't make the game pay to win. Give real feedback, pretty please. That's the whole point. Detailed feedback, detailed ideas, more so. And just to point out, there is a mega thread channel as well, spending mega thread, energy, and summoning. So if you have anything on the topic, make sure you click the game ideas mega thread that is above the game ideas thread in the notes there. All right, so that's kind of like, there's the general thread, mega thread, etc., and back to the chat. But yeah, there's a lot more comments here. Really cool to see everyone's feedback. I didn't even scratch the surface with reading all of them. Oh my goodness. Let's see, like, there's so much positivity as well. Can I just take a minute and say what I'm seeing in all the videos and demos and everything that's come out. Well done. Should be proud and definitely pat your back. Game looks amazing. Can't wait to play it. So again, really excited. Shame you're not doing real-time hair. If you ever do, let me know. Hair and fur is all I do professionally in film. Okay, so this S guy is a professional artist as well. That's really cool. And like Simon replies, for mobile, we have a limited poly count. So like there could only be so much detail for certain things overall. If it's going to be on mobile, it does limit things. Animate each individual strand of hair and one wig will make people's phones explode. It's true. It's like there's so many little details too, like with faces that you can't always do everything because it is also going to be on mobile. There's always some sort of constraints. I think Nico said it. He didn't work on that one specifically, but we're constantly trying to improve the visuals. So it's great to read your comments. Like Aaron, the visuals have come so far from when I first saw this launch. Like seriously, the demo, especially the UI, blew me away. Shout to Henry with a lot of those UI nods. See, Nico here replies, working with either depth peeling for hair cards or strand-based hair geo is something I definitely like to push, haha, but there are certain constraints for mobile, as you might understand. Yeah, really, it's impossible to give people insane quality if it's also going to be mobile friendly, like using Unreal Engine on PC versus Unity that's more mobile friendly. And the limitations that are on mobile, if again, like you said, we don't want people's phones to explode. So I think there's got to be a little bit of a balance, but I think the quality is awesome so far. I do agree with some comments, positive and negative, right? A lot of people have really good feedback, and we're just going to do our best to gather that feedback and put out what we can. But at the end of the day, we can't make literally everybody happy, and everyone's going to have different opinions. And as I saw one of our staff say in our group chat, in our staff chat, the actual staff isn't always going to agree on these design decisions either, let alone the communities. So at the end of the day, there's going to be some give and take with literally everything. So I just hope overall people are excited, and overall people have a good opinion, a good feel of what we're doing, and are excited for things to come. All right, and another quick shout to round out this discussion here. If you're gonna make any content on Godforge, if you're gonna do a reaction video like Mr. Sneaky has here, or any sort of videos like the others have, post them in our community Discord. Let's share, let's support each other, let's watch each other's videos, let's have some fun, and support the people that are already involved with the community so early on, which I think is such a unique thing. How many games have people already making videos on the game before it's even at an alpha stage, or it's when it's just hitting an alpha stage, let alone its very first betas. So this is just a really fun thing to be a part of. I'm really honored to be a part of it. Gamescom was a blast. And again, stay tuned for more from the daily posts from Gamescom. I will post those in the announcements section here, just not adding everyone for all the future ones so I don't clog up your feed and your pings. But yeah, join us in the Discord for some more spicy leaks like these ones, and I'll see you guys in the next video.